me on my hiatus in Lapland, basically, you could say. Quite literally in Lapland, really. I missed out on a few things. And this is, would you believe, this is 32 leaflets and stuff that was put through the door in my house during the local town and European elections gone by. Now, a lot of these were just said by the post, take for example. Um, if you take for example, I can never find a Fine Gael's one that was just said to every household. But my point in the matter is, and I know it sounds like such a green party, kill all the cows, etc., etc. But no, my point is, and I wouldn't have done it if I was a councillor. I wouldn't have these leaflets. I think nowadays, the public and the way it should be really nowadays, it's word of mouth and online is the main way. These leaflets, again, as somebody who works as a street cleaner and stuff like, you just see it in the bins, every public bin in the street. They're just littered now with these in the bin. People are going from the houses to throw them into the bin to get rid of them, and they didn't even look at them, just to say. So it's pointless. It's a waste of money. Not even that. It's a waste of resources. If you take about 32 here, take for example. So you add up, take for example, just even this area alone for these councils. Take for example, the local councillor here, Paul Fitzpatrick in the Kiltill Bay, but it's the first name that came to my head. But you take for example all his leaflets to go to every door in that area. And you add up all the houses, the population to every house in that constituency, and then you add up maybe the MPs, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, all going to every house in the country. It's a huge amount of money that the taxpayer has to pay for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, because the taxpayer is paying for it, not so much the smaller parties. But it's insane. Then you take the posters, etc., etc. It's a huge waste on the environment. Because all this is done by paper, etc., etc. Is not. I know people use the word sustainable, but it's not good because again, the majority of these end up in landfill, and that's just to be totally honest. The majority don't get recycled; they end up in a landfill and water away in a landfill, and it's not good. And again, all these people will be crying about the environment, etc., etc. And I know like it sounds such like a Green Party MEP here, but I generally do care about the environment. These things that the landfills, etc., etc., and the whole streets there, because along the streets too is just litter with them too. People just fuck them out of cars, etc., etc. It has happened. It's happened many times during this election, etc., etc. And the same with posters. There's posters lying in ditches after falling off poles. Some people have just taken down the post purposely and fucked them into ditches. It's all go basically. And me going back to work soon, I see it firsthand, but I have already heard reports of it in this area. But just take for example again, this is the amount I got. So we have Kieran Modu Independent, and then we have Peter McFerry who lost the seat in the Cavan Belturbet area. Then you have Niamh Brady. Then you have Fine Gael, Patricia Watch, Fianna Fáil, Niamh Brady again, Fine Gael, Labour Party, Sinn Féin, the National Party, isn't it? The National Party, yeah. Oh God, Luke Mean Flanagan, Sarah McHugh, again, it's just Helmut Kelly, Pauline O'Reilly, nothing more to say about Pauline O'Reilly, Common Good, etc., etc. Into Sinn Féin, I think, yeah, and then a Green Party, I think, Labour Party, another Labour Party, another Fianna Fáil, Darwin Forst, Social Democrats, Fine Gael, and then obviously Fianna Fáil, Annie Smith. And would you believe the only councillor I got to meet the door, because a lot of them, it was just people that send them, bring them around, it wasn't themselves, the councillors. The only one that came around was I met. I know one or two of the other councillors, I wasn't there at the time because it was at work. But the only one I got speaking to was Annie Smith, and I found it was nice to speak to Annie Smith. She's a good person. But my point is, it is a lot, and I do have to give credit to one councillor, particularly in Cavan, Councillor Brendan Fay. He didn't put up many posters. He put up a few around specific areas, which I do credit him a lot for. He didn't want to over pollute the environment with too many posters, and I have to give credit's due. I'm very impressed with that, to be totally honest, and that's what I would have done. I wouldn't have one poster at all, but I wouldn't mind if you had in specific areas, a big poster in a specific area, instead of just having them on every pole everywhere. And that's what it shouldn't happen, because I tell you about Finland, you're probably sick of it, but you wouldn't even notice the European election in Finland, in Helsinki, even the outskirts of Helsinki, etc., etc. In public squares, there's kind of these notice boards, etc., etc., who's won for elections, etc., etc. And there's no such thing as leaflets. Unless you're on the streets to give you leaflets, when you're walking around, but it's only small leaflets. They're not the size of these, etc., etc. And not even that, they don't go to people's doors. People go to public events in squares, etc., etc. Because no Finnish person wants politicians to knock on their doors. They don't want to be annoyed to listen to politicians looking for stuff. They wouldn't listen to basically, they wouldn't put up with listening to them. So that's the way it works there, but I'm not suggesting it should go like that here. Because particularly the one thing about not going to people's doors, etc., the politicians here would take advantage of that. So, they wouldn't be at the head off at the door for different things, and that's what they need to be done. That's what's happening in this election too. A lot of them have been at to hell and back. And a lot of it's been dissolved because again the country's policies have been just insanity the last few months and the years gone by, and still is insanity. But yeah, I'm just making the point that it is insane the amount of leaflets. It generally is insane. 32 there. So if you add up, and again my point is, if you add up all of Carpentry, for example, 100,000 or so people, and you add up say 32 of each household, God only knows how much you would get, because if it's 32 of each household, it'd be insane amount. So, I can't even do the maths in that because it'd be far too much. You're talking about millions, and then if you add the whole country, it's just millions and millions. It's insane. Thank you.